Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, December 9th, 2025. Sorry for the late arrival. Hello, Hans. How are you? Russell, Caleb, Juicy. Oh, that's better. Had a little bit of a coffee emergency. I have a new coffee pot and it for whatever reason doesn't stop. The water doesn't stop coming out when I pull the thermos out. And it made a huge mess, and I was trying to get Lisa a cup of coffee before I got in here, and well, here we are. Gabriel, how are you? Oh, I got pens here. I'm looking on my desk. I'm so far behind with like what's going on since I was off yesterday. I got some pens in the mail for repair. I got a couple I got to clean up. We got a real full. That one we're gonna set off to the side here. Sorry, I'm just looking at a couple things here. It sounds like I need a new car. This is a brand new machine. I wonder if something's just maybe sticky or something. But we'll see. So yesterday I didn't really take a day off. I wasn't here, but I was not lounging around eating Twinkies or anything like that. Lisa and I had a little trip we needed to make, and ended up tagging on a couple of new antique shops that we hadn't been to in the area. For a while, you thought that big Lamy stand in your podcast was a huge copper espresso machine. No, yeah. If I could find two more of those, I told Lisa I would have a 4-poster bed, and then she said you would sleep in the spare bedroom. So, so I put an end to that dream because I had a chance to get a third one. Well, we got one for each of the two stores, and I had a chance to get a third one a couple years ago at the Chicago Pen Show. The 3 is kind of an odd number, but 3's on the way to 4. 2's good. 2's a nice even number. I probably should decorate them for next week. We got pop-up shop next week, Monday through Saturday. Monday through Friday is noon to 5. Actually, Tuesday probably be noon to 6:30, but that gives me some time at the end of the day to sort things out. Noon to 5 and 10 to 2 on Saturday the 20th. So no appointment necessary. I should decorate. Yeah, I don't know where all my decoration stuff is. And sadly, 99% done. Cool. Sadly, some of my favorite decorations that we had at the old shop literally got tossed. If you were ever in the shop and there was just or they were the big Santa, don't have them. There was no room for them. No room. But I got some Santa hats around here somewhere. I'm sure I can at least put them on my Lux displays, I guess. So anyway, yeah, no appointment necessary next week. Come on in noon to 5. Try to stick to that noon to 5 range. If you have to be here early, please just let me know because I still the 1% will be complete when you sell the Schaefer Christmas statuette. Yeah. Santa hat would be fun on top of it. Yeah, we used to have them, and then kids would come in. Kids would come into the store, and then they would get their pictures taken in front of the Lux with the hat on. So, but anyway, so that's coming up next week. A lot of work to do. I'm I'm trying to think what happened this weekend. We were actually here on Sunday because we weren't sure what was going to happen on Monday because we weren't here. But I wanted to get some shipping done, so I shipped a bunch of packages, printed labels for them. On Sunday, we were here for a couple hours. And then my daughter Lindsay was here yesterday, so the packages did go out yesterday. And then I caught up on everything else pretty much today. Caleb, your pen is going out tomorrow, and I got a little special treat in the box for you. I found an original, what I'm pretty sure is the original box for that pen. Don't ask. I just find these things. So, yeah. And it's a nice box. It's really a nice box. So I hope you like it. But that's all ready to be packaged up. I got that ready this afternoon. I almost forgot that I had it. And I've been cleaning up a little bit. I've been trying to organize things here. The other day I found a very large box of Parker 75 boxes. So I wish I'd have had them for like all the Parker 70, including an insignia. So the trim on it, instead of it being chrome, is gold. So, at least now I have them, because I had boxes over here, I got boxes over here, I got boxes under here, and we'll see this in a little bit. I have a couple of desk sets this week that I want to work on, and I mean, I won't say I found this. I knew I had this. But sometimes you have something and you set it aside because there's a problem or you can't get past a certain thing. And, you know, and then all of a sudden, before you know it, you just assume that there's something terribly wrong with this. And it's not worth your time to look. And, oh, hang on a second. Yeah. Oh, great. Thank you. You too. Thanks. UPS. So you see this thing and you keep looking at it and you're like, well, I know that there's something wrong with it. It's not worth spending the time. So I spent the time to look, and I have a really pretty nice wall desk set that it just needs to go away. Caleb, I've converted you to a desk set convert. The sickness is spreading. Well, just wait. Just wait. So yesterday, we actually it was fun to go to a place we had never been, and the first place, there's always room for one more desk set. Yeah, so the first place we went to, funny enough, I actually left my list of antique stores I wanted to go to. I left it at home. I spent Sunday night putting it together, left it on the kitchen table right next to my place setting. But I knew there was only a couple, and because it was a Monday, there wasn't as many places open. And so I kind of remembered the names, so I got them all. But the first one, had no idea. I mean, I didn't even bother to look at them any further. I just knew the names. And the first one, when we walked in, the first thing I saw was a sign. It said, 4th floor now open. Okay. Nice gentleman at the counter gave me the tour. He says, you know, bathrooms on the 1st and the 3rd, and then every floor except for the 4th had like a little helper desk, which was super cool, because usually what you have is these situations where if it's multi-level, And when you're looking for pens, they're typically in a glass case. Glass cases are never on floors 2 and 3 or 4, because then someone's got to go, leave, go to the stairwell, go up the stairwell. I mean, they're never. Brian could smell desk sets from a great distance, like a great Uncle Yank could smell on a liquor store from a distance. Well, that might be different. You could probably smell that. So anyway, we looked around, and Lisa and I darn near had a heart attack when we spotted on the bottom level of a case a tray of gold filigree pens. Well, not filigree, gold overlay pens. And I thought what they looked like they were swan overlays. Straight caps, early Watermans, things like that. I'm like, oh my God, there is no way I can afford this. When on earth do you ever see this in an antique store? I bent down. They were all modern ballpoints with really funky overlays on it. But for a minute there, both Lisa and I were like, so we pretty much struck out at that place. I mean, the only thing we actually found there, we got some Christmas presents for Lisa's mom. I managed to score a camel hair coat. It's actually a jacket, a sport coat, not a dress coat. But it's actually a little bit too big for me, but it works perfectly. If, like today, I've got a sweater on, it works perfectly in that capacity. The sleeves are always a little bit, they're a little bit longer. And the price was stupid. It was $38. It had never been used. The pockets are still sewn shut. The venting was still sewn shut. And I could not buy it. And it was black camel hair, not tan like you normally see. It was black. So I'm like, okay, $38, why not? And I sort of have a rule. I can't, I don't buy something I already have. So like I've got a full length black wool. I can't buy another one. I don't need one. I've got one in tan. I've got a camel hair, so I don't need another one. Full length. But if it's a different color, or if it's a different, like I have a part cashmere coat. So if a full cashmere coat comes along, that's game. That's how the rule works. I buy one a year. I missed the last couple of years. So I bought that. There was one pen, in the entire mall. It was a silver pearl vac major for the low price of $225. We passed. Went on to the next couple places. We found this great place that hopefully someday I can take Hans to if he ever comes up to visit. Maybe after a Chicago pen show or something. Fantastic place. It had rows and rows and rows of men's jackets. In fact, I had another one. I need to do a fashion show of my coats. Lisa's, she's sort of on board, but not, she's like, she says, you have to wear them. You can't just buy them and not wear them. So I have to wear them now. Worst thing in the world, right? Yeah. So we go to this store, and it's in this crazy building. We might get into a fight over. We're the same size, Hans. We are the same size. So that helps. But, I don't know if the width is the same. And I understand about trying shoes on. But this place had rack and rack after rack of men's sport coats. There were some suits there, dress coats, and shoes. I could not believe Allen Edmonds shoes for like $40. Dress shoes. Yeah, all high-end brands. There was, Bostonian. I really, and they had a beautiful kind of a peacoat length gray plaid jacket for 75 bucks. And I thought, man, and it was wool. I thought that's pretty cool. And I had it off the hanger. And I said, you know what? I got one coat today. We're good. 75 was a little more than I wanted to pay for that. Because it wasn't cashmere or it was wool, but it was a little bit higher priced on the jackets at that store. But they had smoking jackets. They had a smoking jacket in green. I mean, green with black velvet lapels. It was completely obnoxious. I loved it. So anyway, so I've got that one marked down, Hans. If you ever do come up here, it's about an hour and a half away. We'll have to carve out some time to go to that place. I know exactly where it is. And so, well, actually, when we went in, and when you go into an antique store, the first thing you do is, okay, well, Lisa and I look at each other and we kind of survey the lay of the land and say, okay, well, what's the order we're going to go? We're going to go clockwise. We're going to go counterclockwise. What makes sense in this space? This is we'll go to the right. And the first thing I see there was actually a Schaefer double desk set. Priced reasonable. If it was 2 fountain pens, it would have been a good price. I just didn't. I'd break the internet if I wore the smoke jacket on live stream. Maybe. Green. Did I mention it was green? They had a Schaefer double desk set, gold trumpets, black pens. I don't know if they were fountain pens or not. I decided I really didn't want another Schaefer double at this time. And it was about 20, 30 bucks more than I really wanted to pay anyway. So we kept going along. I mean, I would have probably got it if I had not bought anything else just to have something. And we go around, we do the shoe thing, we look at the jackets and stuff. And then I decided, you know what? There's so much weird stuff at this place. I'm just going to ask the guy. He's like, hey, do you have any writing instruments? And he goes, oh, just the ones here in the case. I'm like, but then what he does, it just blew my mind. He's like, if you want to see him, you can. Opens the drawer, pulls them up because there's a Parker 51. All gold filled. What's that? Insignia? Not an insignia. It's my mind is blanking on that, but an all gold filled 51, and there was a double jewel silver pearl vacuumatic right next to it. He says, "Oh, these are overpriced." Like, man, and he was right. He was absolutely right. He wanted $300 for the gold filled 51 with dents in it, and he wanted $250 for the double jewel silver pearl vac. So, and then the rest of the stuff he had in the tray was garbage. But, and I asked him for business cards. He said, nope, don't have any. Ran out. And then we went on. We ended up going to, we didn't quite hit the full list of places that I wanted to go because we had to kind of do a little bit of jogging. And by the time we got done, because the first place took us 2 hours to go through 4 floors. So I was hoping to get to this other place, but we didn't get to it. And it turned out that the second to last place we went to, we had already been to before. And I had bought pens there. And I think that this was the place. Or no, it was the next place. So we went on. There was another shop in that city. And I did buy something there. Lisa did find it before I did and pointed it out. I probably might not have seen it. Let me take this off here. The place was severely understaffed. But I could not pass up this lovely Schaefer base. It's got this cool little angle here. Let's Got a nice. Yeah, I think it might be a snorkel base. But I just loved this little angle here. It serves no purpose because there's not a pen rest or anything on it. It's got the Schaefer logo, but there's nothing on the felt. I thought, you know what? I probably have a pen for this. It was probably about $10 more than I probably should have. Well, maybe, yeah, probably $5 or $10 more than I should have paid for it. But it is what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look. I didn't have time today to look. I had an ink problem this morning. We got some Herb and ink in, and a bottle of Green Ouage literally somehow got smashed. Not just a cap loose, not just a crack. I mean, like there's glass particles in pieces, and there was ink everywhere. I might have a pen. So there was stuff everywhere, and I had to check every bottle of ink that I got in that shipment. And hey, Mike, raiding with the big party. All right, 17. Dustin, the duck, Slumberland, how you doing? Welcome, guys. At the very least, you give you a taper so you can convert an existing snorkel to work with it. Yeah. Mike, woo. Dope. Yeah, so that's, much to Lisa's chagrin. But again, she's the one that pointed it out. So, Olive, how you doing? So this is what we came home with. Everything else was overpriced or complete garbage. But that's all right. So. That's my tales for the weekend. Let's take a look at what we got for the bench today. I have way more pens than I think we can even conceive of looking at. We are going to start off with another desk set to Lisa. No, we found this yesterday at an antique store. She found it and told me about it. And I said, listen, you want me to get rid of desk sets? Then this is how desk pens. This is how you do it. You got to raid and run. Yeah, okay. Sounds good, Dustin. Take care. This is how you do it. You knew it was going to be a desk set or a pen without a nib. Yeah. I would offend her if I didn't buy it. That's absolutely correct. So, I know I have some Schaefer desk pens, and I just, I need to get rid of some of that stuff, and it is what it is. So here, speaking of desk sets, I'm going to move this out of the way. We'll talk about this stuff in a minute. This is a lovely, lovely, yeah, you can't risk that. This is a lovely wall. Eversharp green and bronze. It's dirty as all get out. It's got a matching green and bronze trumpet. Pretty decent base. I think there's probably a couple chips in it. But I mean, it's heavy. It's got a nice pen rest here. So this one this has been sitting around. Yeah, this is a beautiful set. I've had this for a long time. I think the problem was on this one is it has one of these wall style, Waterman used it to, is pressure bars, not a J bar, but a pressure bar that slots into tabs on the lever. And I was never very good at getting those in, and now I've kind of figured it out. So I think what happened is the lever came, the pressure bar came out, and I couldn't get it back in. So I put it on the shelf, and that's where it's sat. The only other thing I do that know is a problem is this is relatively easy to get in and out of the socket. But I think as long as you're not yanking on it, I can actually lift up a little bit. It's probably okay. Oh, and it needs a little bit of, I'm going to do that. It needs a little bit of adhesive or something on there. Your fear is the pen will eventually leak out of the nib and flood the desk set holder. It is very possible that it will. There are two certainties with desk sets. Two certainties with desk sets. And if you're not familiar with desk sets, yeah, the pen matches the base nicely, doesn't it? It's dusty. It needs to be cleaned up. But certainty number one. Desk sets do like to behave, yes. Certainty number one, the pen's going to dry out. Unless you use it all day, every day. And even in that case, the pen is going to dry out. So there's nothing wrong with, it's very hard to get a really good seal on a desk set. Unless it's like an Esterbrook Dipless that's sitting in ink. That's a pretty much a certainty. As I think Hans and I have the same joke that it's, you know, it's kind of like a taillight warranty on that. It's going to dry out. I just guarantee, I'm never going to guarantee that it's not going to dry out. And certainty number two is that there is a possibility that ink is going to, if you are, you know, you're putting the pen in the trumpet, gravity is gravity, and you may end up with ink in the bottom of the trumpet, which, you know, then you got to clean. You should have your secretary fill it daily. That's kind of what they were designed. They were designed for secretaries to fill. I suppose. I don't have a secretary. I have cats. Yeah. So anyway, so we got this. We're going to work on this week. At some point, I'd like to get it done. So I can shoot it on photography next Monday, probably. And then I bought this pen. It's a 51 Vac. I bought this in Ohio, and I managed to find, this is a pretty interesting, it's not in super great condition. There's some ding marks on this gold band, on this magnetics. But it works. It's nice. Who doesn't? I mean, magnetics, I just love these things. It needs to be cleaned up. There's a little sticker residue there. But yeah, this is a 51 Vac. Did the maker making the pen also make the bases, or had another company do the bases? I think usually they get the base from somebody else, but I don't know. 51 Vac desk pens are tough to find. Yeah, what's interesting about this, I don't know if you can see this, is the outside of this is ribbed. See that? It's ribbed. So I thought that was kind of interesting. So unfortunately, it's got all these little dings in the metal. Hard to see. Okay. There you go. It's ribbed on the edge, which is pretty cool. And the little disc is kind of banged up, but that was kind of the nicest one that I had sitting around here that I managed to come up with. So we got that, and then I'll find something for that other Schaefer base. All right. Let's we got a ton of stuff going on here. So I got a couple pens came in the mail today. Actually, they came in yesterday. This cute little Lucky Curve filigree. Nice little pen. And this guy, which is, what is this? Some kind of third tier Taperite wannabe. So we got those to look at. I've got a Model X desk pen that I just need to polish this up and clean this up, because this is going out. Is that Schaefer Fancy flat top still available? The one with the stub nib, that has been sold. Yeah, the filigree is nice. Is nice. And then this pen here, I just need to find a new nib for it. I have some options on my desk here, so we're going to look at that. So these are client pens that just came in, and then these are from last week. Pretty much all the Vax and the Snorkel are ready to assemble and test, and then we can seal these guys up. We really didn't do anything with this 51. I may just parlay that into tomorrow because I need to get some. I can't seem to find my. I have a bottle somewhere of clear shellac. I mean, I got 100 bottles of it over in the other room, but I'm pretty sure I have my own bottle in my shop here, so I gotta find it. So this is what we're working on today. Let's get cooking. And then if all else, if we get through all of that, I have 2 more Conklin Crescents, including this. This is a 2P, clipless, P for pocket. And then I have a 2NL that has come in on trade. So those I don't suspect we're probably not going to get to these at all today. I don't imagine we will. But I want to get working on these. And then I want to get the desk sets off my desk. This is a great little Parker. Really a great little pen. Well, that's interesting. And if I can find the nib for this, then I can eliminate a huge pile of pens that are sitting on my desk. Out of curiosity, do you and Lisa have favorites among the easier to find colors and models of Esterbrook's? I mean, define easier, right? Probably my favorite in the J series is the English Copper. Not a twist filler or a crazy. Okay, all right. Yeah. So the English materials are different. They're slightly different. The colors are slightly different. But the copper is really, really nice. It's a very light copper. It's almost kind of a brownish tan. That's probably my favorite. The dark copper variant that some people call root beer is nice. I like that. Those are the 2 that come to mind. Some variations of the green are nice. All right, that gave me a very, very ominous creaking noise when I took that when I opened that up. All right. This one I have no idea. Anything cool about Lisa? It's always interesting to hear about favorites from someone who has handled every color. I think she likes that English copper too. Oh, that came out easier than I thought. Now on harder to find colors, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with any of the Vigimasters. The blue's a tough one because it's always so dark. The red is lovely. The orange is nice. The green is really vibrant. And if you like green, the green icicle is completely different um, than the regular color green, and it's fantastic. It's the best color in the icicle series. Um, the orange and the red are so close; it's really hard to tell them apart. Uh, well, this section is cracked. Hmm. Well, what are we going to do with that? Yeah, it's cracked at the section nipple. I don't see the part here, so the feed goes. I still have. I got about a couple millimeters of. I got a couple meters of nipple here from here to here. And then the feed goes in a little bit further. Now the channel is there, so we really could, even if we had shellac all the way back here, I didn't see it break off. But anything is possible. You just put a sack on it as it sits, it will work just fine. Yeah, I was thinking. Yeah, I mean, in this, yeah, repair is not easy. Yeah, and we're not going to be finding this. I don't have this section, I'm sure of it. All right, well, let's, clean off the rest of this, get it in the ultrasonic. You have done the repair once? Basically grafting on a new piece of hard rubber on this section, or cutting it out and then you drill it out and insert a sleeve made of hard rubber the same dimension as the sack nipple. Oh. Yeah, that's not fun. I think there's enough on here that it's gonna. But that would require a lathe now, wouldn't it? Well, I'm overdue a call from my buddy who's basically told me just get a new damn lathe. But I had to, and I think that's probably the right move. Considering what I probably have to find and do for mine, it just as well get a new one. It'll probably be just as expensive. But I got to call my buddy back because I had to. Yeah. I think we've discussed this. Did you get the car, by the way? I forgot to ask if you got the car. So if you got a new car, then you've got room for stuff for Chicago. Inspection on Tuesday. All right, very good. As soon as they could see it, the mechanic. Okay. I hate these Schmidt nibs. They've got this little metal band on them. None of those are going to work. So that nib is shot. My task is to try to find another nib. Well, now that might work. That might, because these little metal bands here make this getting this nib out incredibly difficult. Is that gonna? I think I would go this route. Does that fit in there? Maybe instead of messing around trying to get this band out, get this out of here. Your Cardinal package just arrived. Now you have to keep the wherever box you put. Isn't that the best wherever box though? Did you turn the box over? Turn the box over and read what it says on the bottom of the box. That's the only reason that box is worth keeping. Does it say something like David Kahn something on it. Sample, David Kahn, yeah. Right? What does that mean? I mean, David Kahn was the wherever guy, right? He was Mr. CEO. Believe it or not, I have another one of those boxes. I had two, so I thought I would torture you with it because I knew the inclination for you to want to throw it away would be like you just couldn't do it. Well, this one's a little bit nicer. I know. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know. I don't know what I am. I saw that and I said, you have to have this. I gotta put your stuff in something to make sure it's protected. This is a better section here. I love sending you stuff because every time I have to find something cool to put it in. All right, well this turned out all right. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to replace this whole unit. It's probably the easiest thing to do. I never thought I'd ever use a single part in this bag of junk. Imagine my surprise today. I mean, it's not all junk. It's well, there's a wherever nib in here. All right, I think that's probably the. You always succeed. All right. That stuff's soaking. I'm gonna let that soak. I'm gonna polish this barrel up so then that will actually be done. It just needs a little clean. Somebody wanted a Model X dipless pen. They didn't need a nib for it, and I said, "Yeah, I've got one." This could escalate quickly. I have an idea now for the next pen you send me. Be careful. That's funny. I'm gonna tell Lisa she's gonna laugh. Did you get one package today or did you get two packages today? You're supposed to get two. You got one. Oh. Well, then maybe you're getting one tomorrow. Not that I blew the secret. When I last checked, your tracking was supposed to have two today. Only one came to the door. Oh, okay. I'll have to I'll have to check the tracking on them. The other one's small enough it would be in your mailbox. Nice thing about Esserbic, these lucite tapers, is you can polish them with micro mesh, and they really turn out great. And so this is, so when you get bite marks on the end here, start with your 1500 grit micro mesh. Any tips on how to get a musty smell out of a vintage plastic lever filler? It could be the plastic. Some of them just smell cruddy. I would try polishing them and make sure there's no crap on it, on the actual, on the body, and then also make sure that there's nothing inside the pen. There is a second package. Well, hot diggity. Now's the time to tell you that there's a third package coming too. Well, you know about the third package. And so you can get it gives it a little bit of frosty look, I suppose, if you wanted a frosty look on your taper. But there's a little bit of a bite mark there, but you can smooth out most of the surface wear with just a little bit of elbow grease in 15 minutes of time. Yeah, let me know how you like them. I mean, it's too late for me to return them, so the one I used earlier this year was a spot-on match. Exact. What am I talking about? Those new Schaefer 54 millimeter Schaefer J bars. I sent some to my my buddy Hans over here on Twitch. I figured if anybody's got some Schaefers that need J bars, it's him. But it's kind of a unique design. They're identical to new. I mean, it's, yeah, good. It's a unique design that they use as opposed to a standard J bar. quality is remarkable. I don't know how they can do it for the same price. So Lisa said. Well, the interesting thing is if that's really, I have 62 millimeter bars on order. So I've got larger Schaefer J bars on order, which pretty much with the 54 should cover most of, most of your Schaefer balance pens. But if they can do that, then I have other ideas. You love to look at their lucite tapers. They're just so unique. Are they interchangeable with the black taper? So, here's the long and short of it, so to speak, pun intended. There are two sizes. Well, as always, there's exceptions. There's really three sizes, but generally speaking, there's two sizes of tapers. If we're talking post 1948, okay, that's my exception. But pre 1948, there are longer pens, different sizes. Everything is different. But if we're talking about all your standard black with clear tapers, black with lucite red, black. Believe it or not, there's an ivory. There are two sizes. The dipless pens all have this long taper. It's not really conical because it aggressively shrinks down here and then it just elegantly tapers off here. The standard lever-filled desk pen uses a different taper. It's more conical at an even, it tapers down to at an even rate. And so the dipless pens don't interchange with the desk pens. Now, the exception is the model Double X, which is a larger dipless pen, which has a larger, probably about that big, handle on it, black handle. It has a shorter taper. The pen overall is just slightly bigger, but there's more grip area here. It's bigger. That uses the same taper as the desk pen. That being said, I have found there are a couple different sizes of threads here. So your mileage may vary whether or not it actually fits. If you have two dipless pens, one with the black taper and one with the clear taper, they may or may not fit. They should. They may not. It just depends if that threading is the same size. There's a large thread and a kind of a smaller thread. But unless you're dealing with the double X dipless, which interchanges with the standard desk pens, if you have a desk pen, it should interchange with another of the same vintage. Earlier pens are just bigger all around. Early desk pens marked R. Esterbrook and Company, like your bandless. Believe it or not, they made them in hard rubber. Longer bodies, longer barrels. Tapers can be. I haven't tried to interchange an early with a later in a long time. So if you're gonna do this, I recommend using all nine grits of the micro mesh. It's just best to do it, and I'm just doing this, rotating it. Sounds like my boss is on the roof shoveling the snow off. My boss, my landlord. The later ones are larger diameter at the threads. Yeah, there's two different sizes. At least two. Well, Hans, I'm glad to hear that they're identical to the new old stock ones that you have, because that was kind of my experience. They're just so much easier to put in balance. Schaefer balance pens. They slide in easily. They don't often break, but if they do, then you're kind of screwed, because the other J bars that I have made, they don't really fit very well. They're hard to get in. I always get nervous about trying to get them past the barrel opening, the section opening. Yeah, it's the right part for the right job, and it is safer. So I have sold all of a quantity of one thus far since I launched them on Friday. You know how much snow on the roof is there? I don't know. We just got, they just put in, like, literally right when we moved in, they put a new roof. It's a flat roof on the building. And promptly last week, after our first big snowstorm, it started to leak. So I think the one of the landlords, there's two owners to the building. One is Lisa's boss, and one is the insurance agent that's in the plaza here. I think they're like, yeah, I'm just gonna go up there and I'm gonna shovel it off, because I don't want any more problems. And they're trying to figure out where the leak is coming from, because it could, well, it's it's showing up in one spot in the lobby, doesn't necessarily mean that directly above it is where the leak is. So all right, this was probably not necessary, but it looks better. It looks a lot better now than it did. And that is really good to go. I'm not going to put 12,000 on it. It's just really not going to make a difference. Okay. Let's see if these are good to go. Your parents had a property that the addition had a tar and gravel room, so you had to clean the snow off or the ice would build up. Huh. All right, well, we're going to have to see if that works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But I wonder if this J-bar can come out. Oh, yeah, that's not coming up. We're not getting that up anytime soon. They use jackhammers to remove the ice. Sometimes these really third tier J-bars are actually pretty thick. They're really difficult to get out. Let's see. This is not really the right J-bar for the job, but it's probably been in the pen a long time. Sorry, I gotta read this here for a second. So what I'm guessing, normally, since this is old enough pen that it would have had a two-piece bar. This has a three-piece bar, which is typically only used in Streamline. Now it's the right length. So what I'm wondering, since I didn't actually see this piece come off, I wonder if it wasn't off when somebody resacked it and put this three-piece bar in there. because it should be a two-piece bar. But if it works, I think we're going to leave it. Um, as long as the sack size is correct, I think we'll be okay. Uh, Believe it or not, that 16 is really kind of small inside this barrel. I'm a little, I might go up with a bump it up a size. Yeah, let's try 17. That'll give us some insulation, but it'll be easier to get on that section nipple. And this guy, whew, 14, 15. Let's see. 14 was a little bit tight on. Oh, sorry, hang on. My car insurance adjuster just texted me. Sorry, I hate to do this, but I got to call my insurance adjuster back. He's looking at my car right now. So give me just a minute. I will be right back. All right, sorry about that. My the insurance adjuster was calling about the car. I'm a little confused, so um, I firmly believe in if you're not sure, don't make any decisions. So I decided not to make any decisions. It's already late enough in the day; nobody can do anything. Um, we had options. We'll see what happens. So, we determined, is this the 15th? We determined this is the one, right? I don't actually hate the new car that, oh, not the new car, but the car that we got for a rental. We got a Nissan Rogue, and we discovered, this is funny. One of our family models, and it used to be something my dad used to say all the time, was, we have a number of family models. I really, one of these days, I ought to put them up on a plaque somewhere, just because it's kind of funny. Was be observant. I always try to do that, and that helps in pen repair and among other things. But we've had the rental car now for 8 days, and yesterday, 8 9 days. Yesterday, we've had it a week. We discovered it's a hybrid. I had no idea. I feel like it sounds like it's starting up at a stoplight. Sure enough, it is. All right. Let's cut these. Let's sack these up. Let's get moving on to some other things so I can clear my bench off so I can get to those Conklins. But I do want my car back. It'd be one thing. We've always taken very good care of it, and when you take good care of a car, I hate it when you just it'd be one thing if it was a piece of junk, and it's not. We just like, what was it? 3 weeks ago, four. Oh no, it was in November. Just in November, we got a new timing belt on it. There's a couple $1,000 right down the kisser, right? Don't get a chuckle out of that guy yesterday. Yeah, we got some pens here, but they're way overpriced. How about we bring that price down then? How about we solve the problem? I'm a problem solver. I mean, I appreciate honesty, but when it comes to the price of your products, and it did not look to be like it was a multi-vendor mall type of situation. Like this was this dude's stuff. Maybe not. I don't know. So this is really a pretty thick section. For that to have broken, I'm guessing it's been broken a while. That's how thick the section is. All right, so we're definitely going to wait for that to dry. While we're at it, though, let's check the inside of these caps. Ooh, Nelly. Yeah, ironically, our car still gets better gas mileage than the hybrid. So until I can find a hybrid that gets better gas mileage than I'm getting now, I'm sticking with it. As much as a pain in the butt sometimes a diesel is. I did find out over the weekend, very stealthily, I did discover what one of my Christmas presents is. It is pen related. I'm very excited. I told Lisa she could buy me the jacket she bought me yesterday. It could be my Christmas present. She didn't seem that was a good idea. I don't know why. She kept saying, you got to wear them. Okay, so next week. Pop-up shop. I'll wear a different one every day. A desk set. No, it is not a desk set. Not a desk set. I used to have a beautiful, beautiful office at the old house. And it was actually a kitchen, is what it was. It was a 2-story, and the second floor for a while was actually a different number. It was like 724 and a half. And no, not the 51 demonstrator. Thank you for your efforts on that, though. So everything upstairs was identical to everything downstairs in pretty much everything. If there was a light fixture in one spot, it was the same place up as it was down. The bathroom was on top of each other. The kitchen was on top of each other. And so I had glass front cabinets, kitchen cabinets upstairs. And that's what I had put all my desk sets in and everything. So it was really fun to, you walk in and there's your office and you can see all your desk sets. An older gentleman delivers here once a week. He has an EV. Every time he goes in reverse, it makes the sound that makes me think of the Jetson in their space car. It says his electric bill is expensive. Yeah, it does have that certain sound to it, and that's what we heard. And I thought, well, that's got to be the. I said, Lisa heard that, and I said, well, it sounds like that's just a fan. And then all of a sudden, we were at a stoplight, and then all of a sudden, she started to move, and you could hear the engine turn on and kick in. And I'm like, yeah, I looked it up. I'm like, well, son of a gun. They've made Nissan Rogue electric vehicle or hybrid since 2018. So I guess that's what we got. I don't want a fully electric car. It doesn't work for me. I do drive to pen shows and drive out of state, and I don't really want to deal with that whole nonsense of trying to find charger and then you're still paying for it. It's not like it's free. Getting a charging station in your house and paying an electrician to set that up. I want no part of that. But a hybrid with like regenerative braking, maybe I could get into that. In the UK, EVs will have to start paying an extra 3 pence per mile in tax. It kind of closes the gap, doesn't it? There we go. Our clip's a little bit straighter now. All right, let's take a look at this, and then I think we're done with this guy for today. Did have a funny story from Saturday. Thank you for the follow, Derek. Appreciate it. Um, we have a, oops, we have a screen door that has one of these pull down screens. And it's a full length job, so the screen can't, I can't have a chain, you know, one of those chain catchers on the door. Well, the wind up and grabbed my door. Boy, this is really kind of scuffed up. I think I might throw this in the Dr. G's, just the way it is. It's I might micro mesh it so it's even. You see all these scuff marks and scratch marks, and it just looks nasty. The wind up and picked my door. We didn't latch it quite securely, and it bent the closer. And just drop that in there for now. And so, of course, I couldn't close the door now because the thing is bent. And well, the first time it happened, we bent it back into place. And like, okay, that's fine. The second time it happened, it almost yanked the whole thing out of the door frame. And it was basically ruined. I had to unscrew it, take it apart, and take it off. So we went to the hardware store to get a new one. And we went to the same place where we bought the doors. And I said, well, you know, I don't really care, but they had a standard and they had a heavy duty. So I went to go ask the gentleman who we bought the doors from, who is usually working on weekends. And we saw him and we said, hey, can you tell us which one of these we need for our door? Do we need the standard or do we have to use the heavy duty for the Anderson door that we have? And he looked at us and he says, well, you know, the standard will probably do fine, but he said, do you want the one that matches? Like, you know, I mean, the difference between these two, like the standard is like $23 and the heavy duty one is like 26 and it's beefier and, you know, whatever. He goes, well, do you want the one that matches, the one that's supposed to be on the door? I said, well, I don't really. He says, I might just have one. Hang on. He goes and he pulls a Brian. He just goes and he reaches under his desk and he pulls out a box. And inside the box, you go, oh, here it is. He goes, here, just take this. And he just gave us a brand new, actually it's a 2-pack, one with the one of those little foot closers, and one with without it, with all the hardware, including the drill bits if you needed them, to attach onto the door for free. There you go. I said, well, how much is it? He goes, oh, just take it. Best door salesman ever. I'd totally buy another door from this guy. Got home, had the thing screwed in place in 10 minutes. Didn't even have to adjust the closing rate. So sometimes it pays to ask. I mean, I would have happily paid for it, but he was like, "Oh, well, sometimes they give us extras." He's handed it to me. It just felt so weird walking out of the store with this box. And so now I've got a spare unit just in case this thing ever happens again. What's up, Jason? Sorry, I had to take a call from my insurance agent. Or not the insurance agent, the adjuster. Holy cow, what the heck they do in this thing? I was looking at my car today. We actually stopped over there over on the weekend because we left all sorts of stuff in the car. You know, in the moment you forget. You don't think of, I mean, sometimes you do, but we didn't. We left the garage door open in there, my sunglasses. I actually had two postal buckets in there and some shipping supplies. There we go. Well, this is a much better one than that other black one I was using. Oh, beautiful. Did you ever put a capillary cell in a high frequency ultrasonic cleaner? Capillary cell. You mean from a 61? We don't like 61s on this channel. Yeah, absolutely. Why not? Just not the hood. If you put the hood in, that arrow is going to come right off. Boom. I need to grab a diaphragm. I'll be right back. You're taking on your Nemesis model again? The good thing you don't live in the United States. You'd get a care package from me. There would be about 30 of them in there. I like them. I just don't think that they, unless you can get that cover off to clean off the paper, I don't like the way they fill, and I don't want to sell a pen to a customer and have them be disappointed in the paltry filling of a 61. Well, what the heck did I do with? There it is. Wonder if you might put holes in the rolled Teflon sheet. I doubt it. Your current cleaner will put holes in foil. Probably just as easy would be to roll it out and take a Q-tip and brush over it. Oops. Oh, this one's going to go together right quick. It doesn't look like this one has been used much. You're trying to avoid dismantling the pen. Well, good luck. I can't ever even get those protectors off. I can count on one hand the number that have come off. That's probably the only way I would ever sell one. If I could get that cover off and clean off that sheet. (1948) date code on the nib. All right. I'm going to ultrasonic that barrel just a bit. It does have some ink in it, so it just wasn't used very much. There's the top part of that trumpet. So there's a vent hole, interestingly enough, underneath top. I think I might have actually cleaned this out before, so it's Yeah, that's pretty clean. Gonna clean off the top part here, so when we put this back on, it's got a good clean surface. The bottom part of this is hard rubber underneath this gold band. It's actually a little loose, but I can't really see. There's some kind of bolt or something. I think, let me see if I've got enough in here. If I can hold it in there, I might be able to blacken it up a little bit. It might look a little nicer while the section is still. See if that'll stay up. Not the worst thing if it falls, but I don't want to go through too much cleaning. I'm going to clean the threads on this real quick. They're pretty clean. That was super easy. Of course, what I worry about when the filling unit goes in too easy is you run into an issue where you might have first of all, I'm going to clean out this thread here. You might end up with a situation where you loosen the filling unit when you go to unscrew the blind cap. If you grab it right where the threading is on the inside, sometimes you'll find, see if I can get it to do, no. Sometimes you'll find that it will be just enough. You're grabbing it here and you unscrew the whole unit. That worked out. We have to put the ring on there. A little bit off. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Check that section. Well, that's blackening up quite nicely. Might be all we need to do, actually. Let's do this. Let's wipe this off and see. I think a little bit more yet. Let's take a look at this part. This part, we think we can. Just raise that level up just a little bit. This section just looks so ugly. Actually, it doesn't look too bad now that it's blackened. Scrape marks are much less noticeable. But I think still going to micro mesh it just to smooth it out. Oh no, 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 no. All right, well, the section's cracked. I don't know that I knew that before. Which is definitely a hold up here. Let me see what I got for a section. This is a nice hard rubber desk pen. This is maybe why this was, maybe I did notice that. Let's see what we got in here. We got some, what's a skyline? Nope. And a nice number 5 adjustable here, but in the section, but it's not quite right. All right, so that's not going to work. Section is almost right. Ideally, I just want a new section. Especially since it's a threaded nib unit. Well, I was not expecting this. I'm sure I didn't know about it before. I don't usually do much with wall. Just in case I got the wrong parts in my skyline box here, but I got it. One more place to look. The infamous desk pen. While we're in here, we're also looking for a snorkel desk pen. I think we're SOL. This is a pretty decent sized nib, too. Son of a gun. I've got other. That's much later. Well, bugger. Well, that does not make me happy, people. Let's see if I got a snorkel desk pen for this. That'll work. Hey. It's such a huge desk space, too. And it's nice looking. Well, let's I guess what we have to do is we got to clean this up, and then I start looking for the part. That's better, but I'm not going to go too nuts considering I don't. It could be 6 months before I find the right part. All right. I may just use shellac on this trumpet part here. That way, if we ever need to get it open, we can get it open. There's also when I can get this off a little bit, I might put a dab of shellac in there, and then that will seal that up too. Let's just do that now. At least we get it done and out of the way. I think toothpick is better for this job. All right. Time for you to lead the ball. Cinders needs extra beauty sleep these days. Been fun. Stay safe. Yep. Have a good night. See you next time. All right. Next up. This actually I can use. Use the brush for. Nice even coat. And then I also want a little bit right on top. And a little bit of a twist just to make sure it's put that in the base. And that's I mean, even that nib is kind of bent too. There we go. Well, so we got every problem solved except for the section. Well, I'm sure I can find this part because, me and desk sets are like this. Gotta at least redeem myself on this guy. That's cool. Yeah, just that off. Cut this sack. That's good to go. This pen looks pretty clean. I'll do. Screw looks good. This is a super clean snorkel desk pen here. Good suction on that. Let's quick. Let's see. It's actually quite clean. Let's get this sack on here, and then at least tomorrow we can entertain. Tomorrow we're gonna do some writing. We got all those Vacumatics, that other snorkel. We got this 51. All right, we'll put that there. I am going to dump this whole piece in the ultrasonic and see if we can get some of this softened up so that we can clean it. It can probably stay in overnight. All right, so forget these guys. These guys are problem children. We got the 51. And this guy, which is good because that means desk sets and desk bases might go out of here. What else do we got for tomorrow? We've got this this Parker. We got this little guy here. This guy's out of here tonight, actually. Down aside. This guy is done, so we can test these two tomorrow. And we will, for sure, we can test all these vacs, and we can reassemble this snorkel here and test that. So what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10 pens to test, at least. So I got right at 5 o'clock, actually. That's a really good, whoops. Sorry, folks. I hit the wrong button. I think for me, that's a good place to stop. And then tomorrow, well, actually here, hang on. Let me show, what else we got here? We got this guy. And I'll show you this other one here. And this guy, that's the 2NL and that's the 2P. So the pocket version and the full length version, both clipless. I just noticed this. I haven't really even looked at this pen yet. That looks like there's a crack in the cap. Was it a scratch? Yeah, it's a crack. Shucks. Well, it's got good imprints. So we'll be working on those. And and we'll go from there. So thanks for tuning in. I'll see what I can do about this wall. See if I can scarf down a wall section here, but I doubt it's going to happen any month soon. But just in case, we'll see. And that's it for today. Tomorrow is Wednesday, so normal day. And stay on the lookout for new jotters. I got new jotters in today. They're sitting on my counter. I have to receive them in. But those are coming, and lots of new consignment pens in the works this week. My daughter took so many pictures yesterday, she's mad at me. So that's how many pictures I gave her to shoot. So keep an eye out for those. And in other words, have a great evening, great afternoon, great morning, wherever you are in the world. Whenever you're watching this, be kind, be well, and we'll catch you tomorrow, all right? Take care, everyone. Bye now.